Nick and Sam, taking you to Jungle Land. Bengals pride, it fills the air. Every week we're always there. Touchdowns, tackles, all the plays. Bengals roaring every way. Stories, news, and game recaps. Jungle Juice, we bridge those gaps. Welcome to the Jungle Juice. Nick and Sam, let's break it loose. Cincinnati, hear our call. Bengals fans, unite us all.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Jungle Juice podcast. I'm Sam Gormley. He's Mick Nelson, holed up in a bunker somewhere, not in his normal spot. How you doing?
No, I picked up a dollhouse collection as a
It was only time.
hobby here.
It was only time. Did you make it yourself, or is that what you're doing with your free time, that you're making dollhouses?
Yeah, honestly, this thing's kind of...
I didn't realize you had two of them. Okay. I saw the one over your left shoulder on the other side of you. I didn't realize there's a second.
It says Popes in the front, so I'd assume it's for my sister, but also, like...
Your sister had a boy.
You got a boy. You ain't got to be playing with a dollhouse. I don't know.
Listen, I don't know. I didn't realize that there were two behind you. I don't know what I thought. I guess I thought it was just a shelf behind you because it's a little bit darker than the other one above your other shoulder. But yeah, you've got...
These things are crazy, though. They're really very high detail now that I'm actually looking at them.
I was going to say, not that we were playing with many dollhouses, but I feel like kids' toys have gone up. You know, like I have a friend who has a young son, and he was sending me a picture of some like racetrack that he had, and I was like, where was this when I was a kid? Like, that looks awesome. I was like, I just want to play with that. I might almost be 30 years old, but does that mean I can't go play with a racetrack? Like, come on. I don't know why. We're getting off topic already on today's show, but congratulations to your little sister. That's why you're off. You are officially Uncle Mick.
Yeah.
Everybody healthy, right?
Yep, everybody's healthy. Cousin, nephew Crew was born on Thursday, so be a week old tomorrow. He was pretty tiny, like 6 pounds. But he's pretty cute kid. It's been cool meeting him. Get to go see him tomorrow. I've been at my grandparents' past couple of days, so gave them a little bit of a break from us. So we'll be there.
It's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing. Most people do feel that way. I do also want to make sure we give a shout out to our good friend Josh Isles, celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday!
Oh, hey, happy birthday, Josh!
He's what, like 70 today? Is that about right?
70. Well, he's back in the Natty. I wonder what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, he was at training camp today. He was sending us some updates there, and now he's right now at the Reds game. So I just saw him react to this. So he's probably
a ton of people at the game today.
Yeah, he's probably not listening. He might have just popped in and liked it and so on. But happy birthday to Josh over at WDN today. Give him a shout out as well. Okay, on today's show, there's a lot of news. Obviously, training camp. We're officially 1 week in, and the wildest part is we're like 10 days away from the Bengals playing a football game.
We are.
We're
less than
10
hours away from
football in general. Yeah.
We got Lions and Chargers, Hall of Fame game weekend.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. I could be wrong.
See, I don't have – I cut my cable over the summer, and it doesn't come back until the end of August. So because of that, I won't be able to watch tomorrow. But that might be something, though. Actually, you know what? I might be going to go out to eat, and maybe I'll watch it there. Probably will, because honestly – bad football is still better than no football, right?
Yeah, I got to convince my dad that to have that game on. I don't know if
I don't think Dave Nelson is probably going to be watching that even in the least, is he? He's probably going to be anti.
Are the Reds playing tomorrow?
They are playing tomorrow night. Yeah, they got the first game against the Braves. So
I'll try to catch as much as I can of it. You got to watch it. I saw a post from somebody earlier, said Trey Lance is starting for the Chargers for the Hall of Fame game. And also, this is the moment where, 99% of NFL fans realize that Trey Lance is now playing for the Chargers.
And I am in that 99% because I don't think I would have known that he left the Cowboys. Honestly.
I didn't know that either.
Yep. Shows good job. We host a NFL-ish podcast, and we admit fully that we don't know anything. But what we do at least know something, and I use something lightly about, is the Bengals, and we got a lot of news to get to. Jamar Chase is in the news. Shemar Stewart, Mike Hilton, Zach Moss, Trey Hendrickson. Got to talk about him, and so on, coming up on today's show. We invite you to follow us on our social media channels, Facebook, YouTube. We're technically on Twitter. We do a great job on Twitter, Mick. I think we tweeted like once in the last 6 months. We're killing it over there.
I need to read down. I haven't had Twitter on my phone for a while now. It's been
we're doing a great job on that. How about that? Let's set that goal. This season, we're going to be better on Twitter. That'll be our goal.
It was like a 2-game stretch last year
where you tweeted more
left and right during the game. And then
you've probably not tweeted since, have you?
If we were watching the games at home, like the home games at home, like it'd be easier to do it. But if you're in the middle of the stadium, like enjoying the actual game itself, you can't really tweet. You can, but it's more of a chore.
And if we're being honest, you've probably had at least 2 apple juices before that, so you never know what your tweet might say.
At least 2.
Yes, it's usually no more than 3, though. No more than 3. We know you ended on that, but also follow us favorite podcasting platform too. 5-star rating that way too. Okay, news headlines of the week. We'll start off with one that I'm sure it means more to you because you're a big fan of Madden. You get the Madden games every single year, but Jamar Chase is officially the first Bengal to be in the 99 club. And that means more to you probably than the average fan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really play too much into like the player ratings because I think for the most part they're usually pretty bad for the most part. Like I think so. I'm not like I don't know. It's cool to have a guy in the 99 club. It's the first Bengal obviously to do it. Jamar definitely deserves it given what he did last year and obviously years prior. So, I mean, good for him that he did it. I heard he had to campaign a little bit to Chad in order to get on there, but I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he got there. But, yeah, I think Madden comes out. When does Madden come out? 2 weeks?
Sure. You're asking the wrong man there is the person who's not bought a Madden game in.
I mean, I'll tell you what. This new college football game is so good. I don't know how long. I might be waiting a while to buy Madden.
Yeah, I'm legitimately thinking, I think maybe the last Madden game I bought was Madden 25, which what year was that then? 2013, 2014, in that realm? When, the one with Barry Sanders on it?
Yeah, we didn't have a Madden 14. So it would have been the 2013 season.
Okay, so that's probably the last Madden game that I bought. So it's been quite a long time since I've actually bought a game of Madden there. But yeah, I liked that Jamar, too, in the video, where they were talking about it, he was talking a little smack to Burrow about it. He says, I'm in the 99. What's your rating? And I think T. Higgins, yeah, he's got to be. And T. Higgins, I think, is like an 86. At least that's what he said, which seems low for T. But
that's where the ratings are kind of trash because I guarantee like a speed rating on Madden, which T. Higgins is not the fastest wide receiver out there, probably factors more into wide receiver overall ratings in the game than other things. So I would assume that there's some athleticism scores on there that T has that are a little bit lower.
And then I think I saw today that Travis Hunter is going to start at an 84, that's high for a rookie.
Yeah, EA loves Travis Hunter.
And don't get me wrong, he's incredible.
I also love Travis Hunter.
It's hard not to. I'm excited to watch him. Week 2? Yeah, that's right. He'll be here week 2 of the NFL season. Big news happened though late last week. I can't remember if it was Thursday. I think it was Friday. Late news drop. Shemar Stewart finally signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. We talked at length on the show last week about this. And long story short, what they did is the Bengals moved $500,000 of his signing bonus up to today. And then Stewart said, okay, I'll agree to your language. And that's kind of what we talked about that probably needed to happen last week. To me, my biggest takeaway from this is I am just glad that we don't have to talk about the Shemar Stewart contract for 3 more years.
Yeah, I'm also glad that I was right that he is that it wasn't going to take very long for him to sign on to the to the roster here. I mean, I think last week we were kind of having this discussion: does he even want to be in Cincinnati, right? And I personally never really got any of those vibes. I think it is kind of disappointing that a 500K is the difference between all of this,
Sherrod.
Yeah, all of this drama that's been in the media, and in just kind of making the Bengals look bad or making Shemar look bad. It's just, it's great that everything got worked out, but really 500K that was the difference maker. Like, I don't
on
know.
Both sides, you could say too.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
both sides. But at least now he's in there, he's in practice, which is really important. And from what you can tell he's at least doing things in practice. I think he played in 10 snaps in his first practice on Saturday, and they interviewed him after, and he kind of was like, yeah, yep, there is a difference between football shape and like workout shape.
Yeah.
But listen, the best part about this is that the Bengals still have over a month until they play. He has plenty of time to get into football shape. They have time to work him in. And we have no earthly idea what Shemar Stewart is going to be this year. We don't. But at least now we have the opportunity to find out. And you would assume that he'll be suited up when they go to Philly in a week and a half.
Yeah, I think he's going to get plenty of preseason snaps in here. He definitely needs the work, given how raw of a prospect he is. I mean, we all know the lack of sack production. The pass rush win rate was decent, but it wasn't great when he was at Texas A&M. I think he is immediately the best run defending edge rusher on the roster already because of how elite he was when he was at A&M. In that department. But yeah, the guy's going to need reps. But the thing is, he may be a couple weeks behind compared to other people, other players on the roster, but in the grand scheme of things, he's not too far behind from everybody else, given the change in scheme, the change in defensive coordinator from Lou Anarumo to Al Golden. So I think that he still has plenty of time to kind of make up for the time that he lost. I'm glad he's going to be suited up for essentially all of training camp, which we weren't sure was going to end up happening.
I did say a week and a half too. We're a week away. They play next Thursday in the preseason game against the Eagles. Like I don't know. It just it seems so far away yet so close at the same time. It's just kind of wild that on next week's show we're going to be breaking down the Eagles preseason roster. Yay. Can't wait.
Kenny Pickett's playing, maybe?
Kenny Pickett's on the Browns.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, he is on the Browns.
Who is the Eagles backup quarterback?
Robinson. It's going to be that was the trade, wasn't it? It was DTR for Kenny Pickett.
Who is the Eagle? They have Tanner McKee, apparently.
We'll probably see a lot of him.
Marcus Mariota. No, that's not right. No, he's not there. This is a Eagles. I don't even know. Now, I like that we're now talking about the Eagles' backup quarterback. Yep, DTR is in there. Kyle McCord, apparently. Is he there too?
Kyle McCord from Syracuse? Yeah, he's the third stringer. DTR
okay.
Tanner McKee is the second stringer. You'll see the guy I wanted the Bengals to sign or trade for, A.J. Dillon, is now the backup running back for the Eagles. That's a great signing for them. That's scary.
Because they needed more offensive or firepower.
God, A.J. Dillon behind that offensive line as like a change of pace from Saquon is going to be lethal. That's going to be crazy. You see some rookies. Oh, almost another guy you wanted to be a Bengal. Azeez Ojulari's a backup edge rusher for Philadelphia, so assume he'll probably be getting some snaps in. But yeah, we'll have more of a preview for this.
Because I think next week our big conversation is going to be how much does Joe Burrow play, and we can get to that next week. Mike Hilton signed with the Dolphins, 1-year deal. Did that over the weekend. I know you were kind of surprised there wasn't really any talk about bringing him back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what was the price of the new contract here, but yeah, I mean, I thought that
it was $6 million or something,
$6 million, and that's more than the Bengals were probably willing to pay for Mike, because he was valued at, I think, 8.5, 9 million when we were kind of going through free agency valuations back in March. But honestly, it's a pretty good situation for Mike to be in. That Dolphins secondary was a potential problem going into the season. Now they've made some moves to make that secondary look a little bit better. Yeah, they got rid of Jalen Ramsey in a trade, but they got Nico Fitzpatrick back playing safety. Mike Hilton in the slot. Jack Jones signed from the New England Patriots. So that it's not the greatest secondary by any means. Mike's going to be starting right away at nickelback. It sounds like just for the Dolphins this season. So I think that's really what he wanted more than anything is still starting playing time. We don't know if he necessarily was going to get that if he re-signed with the Bengals here, because I think they have a lot of question marks with the youth in their secondary as to who can we have as the long-term replacement for Mike in that nickel position. Is it going to be Dax Hill? Is it going to be Josh Newton? Is it going to be
Jalen Davis?
Yeah, is it going to be Jalen Davis? So they had a lot of question marks in that regard, and there's just not enough room to have Mike on the team there when they're trying to figure out these things.
Bengals will see him. They will see him the Sunday before Christmas, Sunday Night Football in Miami. Yeah. So that'll be kind of fun. Zach Moss was released earlier today. Yesterday, Paul Dehner Jr. wrote an outstanding article interviewing Zach and running back coach Justin Hill and so on about this. And honestly, it was really telling. So we talked about this when we did our 53-man roster, that there really hadn't been anything about Zach Moss. We found out, right before the Raiders game that he was put on IR. And I think everyone was kind of like, what? With a neck injury, that kind of came out of left field. Like, we didn't really hear anything about this. That was kind of wild. And then you really didn't hear anything about him. Nothing. They restructured his contract, making a little bit less money, but upping up some guarantees and some signing bonuses and so on with that. But yesterday, Paul Dehner got the exclusive as to what exactly the injury was. And long story short, he broke his neck in 3 places. And he said in the article that when they were playing in the game against the Eagles, he started losing feeling in his arms. And he said that he ended up feeling like he was only playing with 7 fingers in that game. So he told the team, didn't tell the team about any of the issues because he thinks the injury happened against the Patriots, which remind me, Mick, what week was the Patriots? Week 1. They went through, they did some imaging, and they found out that he had 3 broken bones in his neck. He has a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old. So he went through a lot of this discussion with his family of, and you can never blame him for this, is it worth it? I mean, really? Because with a neck injury, is this really going to heal? Is it one of those things as a running back too? It's not like he can avoid, it's not like he's Evan McPherson where he's probably never really going to be hit. What do you do? And he comes back, and you never know whether this was the Bengals cutting him was a retirement, of sorts for Zach Moss. Maybe he doesn't think he can do it, but 3 broken bones, that's a lot. And yeah, I wish him the absolute best.
The assumption when they reworked the contract that injury had healed itself. And it sounds like, it's one, one of the things I came away with this is that Zach Moss is tough as nails, right? If you're playing with
it said in that article too that he played 8 games with the Colts with a broken arm.
Yeah, that's guy was tough as nails. So that you kind of appreciate that out of a guy, and that's the type of guy that signed on to the team, in the spring of 2024. And it's really unfortunate for him that he had to deal with that. Don't want to be too speculative here, but you kind of do wonder, is this more of a retirement thing for Zach Moss? Especially after the news of that article came out, because I don't think either of us were anticipating Zach Moss being cut from this team going into the season, especially after they reworked that contract.
But when I read the article yesterday from Paul Dehner, I was kind of like, well, because I think we had both assumed that this was, that it had healed, and he got put on the NFI list, and we were probably like, okay, that's probably just him working back and so on. Yeah, getting back into shape. But no, I mean, he mentioned that he just pretty much had to lay on the couch for a couple of months and just not be able to do anything because he didn't have the surgery with it. Now, as Will writes in here and says, Taj Brooks looks really good, and that's kind of where I wanted to head next with this is, okay, now you've got 3 running backs on the team and 3 running backs who, we mentioned that there was almost a 0% chance that Taj Brooks was going to be cut. He was going to make the team, but now he's officially made the team, because he's not getting cut. But now you're almost keeping 3 running backs because you're fourth. You're looking at your I'm calling them practice squad guys just because I'm talking about guys that probably aren't going to make the roster. But you've got Gary Brightwell, Kendall Milton, Quali Conley, who is a undrafted free agent from Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that any of those guys excite you about being a 4th running back on this team. So I also said, okay, who are some guys still out there in free agency in case maybe you wanted another veteran running back in there as an insurance policy? You've got Jamal Williams, Gus Edwards, Amir Abdullah, Deontay Foreman. I don't know that any of those.
The ghost of Amir. How has this guy been in the league still?
Amir Abdullah started at running back in my fantasy football championship for me and got me like 13 points. So I can't be too upset with him. But any of those names, I don't know that they really excite you that much. It does worry me just a hair. And why I'm saying that is okay, if something happens to Chase Brown or even Samaje Perine, you have a hole there at running back because I'm not sure that Gary Brightwell, Quali Conley, or Kendall Milton really excites you for any of that.
No. I mean, I know that Kendall Milton did make, he was on the roster for a little bit last year, but I think that was because of the injury to Zach Moss. He had to elevate somebody. He had to elevate somebody on that running back depth chart onto the roster after that. But yeah, I mean, I think that really it's going to pave the way for one of these new signings on the defensive line to maybe make the roster, like a Taven Bryan. I think is probably a favorite to make the roster after this.
Or does this open up a spot for Tanner McLaughlin to make the roster? And now you're keeping an extra tight end, or Cam Grandy or something, where you're keeping an extra tight end in that realm as well.
Yeah. That's also another option there.
Or maybe it's Seth McLaughlin, who is activated off the NFI list today, an undrafted free agent who is really heralded as one of the steals of the undrafted free agent period that the Bengals got. A safety from Ohio State, was a finalist for the best center. He had the Achilles. I think it was an Achilles. Was it not? I believe it was. A leg injury. Finally got cleared to return to football. Graded a 70.7 last year at Ohio State. Entire career play at center between Ohio State and Alabama. This is an interesting person to throw into the offensive line room because you're looking at the guy that we loved coming out of the draft, we still love, is Matt Lee. And McLaughlin and Matt Lee, the one thing that they have, and it's a downside to them, is that they're centers and they don't have a ton of experience playing guard. Matt Lee, I know, has been dealing with a little bit of an injury, so I'm intrigued as to seeing whether one of these guys is going to be able to solidify himself as a guard. Because if they do that, then they're making the roster probably. If not, is it one or the other?
Yeah, I mean, right now I think it's going to be one or the other, unless if they decide to cut either Cordell Volson or Cody Ford, which, I mean, you re-signed Cody Ford to come back for another season. So I would assume he's probably safe. Is Cordell Volson going to end up being on the chopping block because he's making a lot more money than we anticipated on him making due to
or is this your 4th running back?
I don't think it's a 4th running back.
Meaning that this is the spot where you fill in the void of that you're now Zach Moss. This takes Zach Moss's spot, kind of, is what I'm saying on the 53, where you're now keeping an extra offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great problem to have, because what that means is both McLaughlin and Lee have outstanding preseasons.
Yeah.
Well, really, and it probably means Cordell Volson has a really good preseason as well, and everybody's playing really well. And what a phenomenal problem to have for the Bengals, and that's probably unlikely.
Yeah, I think that the highest probability is that this opens up an opportunity for Taven Bryan to make a roster as that 10th or 11th defensive lineman, because I don't think you can have enough defensive linemen on a 53-man roster, considering how gassed those guys get. You should be rotating your defensive linemen in and out more than any other position group on your team. So I think that's probably the route that they're going to go. But, it's kind of a wait and see game. It's, you got to wait and see how preseason's going to turn out, how the rest of it, how we're only 1 week into camp. We got another 5-6 weeks to go here. So, yeah.
Some other camp mentions, at least some things that I've seen, is, one of the standouts offensively of camp has been Yoshi. Andre Yoshivash has been really good. He made a really good catch today, one-handed over the middle. He is we've talked a lot about him. He caught touchdowns last year, didn't really do a whole lot other than that. But as you're talking about athleticism, there's an argument that could be made that he's the best athlete on the team. As far as just pure, he was a pentathlon guy or what was it?
Track and field guy.
Yeah.
He was a track and field guy when he was at Princeton. Really the question with Yoshivash is, can he be more than just a red zone target? Can he be more? Can he be between the red zones guy as a wide receiver? So, I think this is going to be our make or break season for whether Yoshivash can do that. Another guy who's had a pretty good camp is on his heels right now, Jermaine Burton, which I don't know how many more times I can believe in Jermaine Burton hype, but I'm believing in it again because we know how good he can be.
Did you see, and you probably didn't, I know since you're on vacation this week, you might have not seen the video of his towel. His towel.
Okay.
Like I'm wiping my face off. So you know how receivers will wear a towel? It looked like he went to Walmart or Target and bought a beach towel and hung it off his backside. That thing was so long. It was hilarious. I just saw the video before we came on air, and it was just funny that it was, I think it might have been James Rapine or somebody said, could he have found a bigger towel? It was just really funny that it was like, because usually it's just your typical, like my red towel here.
You got a picture of it you can pull up here for me?
I don't. I won't be able to. Well, I can try. While we're talking here on doing that as well. What was the other thing I wanted to mention as far as people playing well? Oh, Josh Newton. So the Josh Newton thing is interesting because he apparently sat down and asked Joe Burrow, said, "Hey, will you watch film with me?"
Oh.
And Burrow said yes. So apparently Josh Newton sat down with him for about 2 hours and watched film on how to become a better corner. And, they asked him, like, did you feel any, like, were you worried about doing that? And he's like, no, that's what good people do. And Burrow obviously wants Josh Newton to succeed because that means it's just going to make his job earlier. But I like that from Newton of being a young guy that could potentially do something.
Oh, you got to pull it up?
Okay,
already?
Here it is. Here it is. I've got it.
Multitasking abilities are insane.
It's almost like I do this for a living. Okay, so this is a video from Paul Daner Jr. On Twitter. So you can see him up into the flat here.
Oh my God. What the hell?
See, am I not wrong? Like, it is the largest towel.
He's literally wearing a cape.
I don't know why I found it so funny, but shout out to Paul Daner for this video here it is literally the biggest towel that he possibly could have found. That's your guy, Mick.
Oh, gosh.
You probably thought I was being a little bit dramatic.
We'll have a good camp as far as I've been aware of. So, yeah, that wide receiver 3 position is going to be a hot battle, I think.
We're going to talk a little bit more about this, too, from what Josh says here in a few minutes about Trey Hendrickson and his return as well. But yeah, did you have more you wanted to say on Burton or anything to say about Josh Newton?
No, I just based off of my light research here, it seems like Chris Jenkins has had a pretty good start to camp as well. So I they still took another bet on him. I mean, this offseason, it's not like they had any robust signings at the 3 tech position. Yeah, you brought back BJ Hill, but you really brought him back for 1 year because his guarantees, I think, are more or less run out after the first year of this new deal. So yeah, I mean, I think that, there was a bet placed on Chris Jenkins, that he's going to improve from what he did in his rookie year, which was a pretty god-awful rookie season from him. We pretty much saw no progression from him. Didn't really see any decent play out of the guy. But, is there a corner that's being turned by him right now? So far, the reports from training camp have turned out to be pretty positive for the guys. So, and that's one thing you and I have always craved for since Gino has been on this, since Gino's been gone, right? You want a killer at the 3 tech position. I think that is the most valuable position on the defensive side of the football. And yes, that's more valuable than what an edge rusher is, because we've seen 3 techs absolutely dominate the game over the past decade.
There is a 3 tech that is available as a free agent right now. He might try to put a smooch on a player.
He seems like a really friendly teammate. So my immediate thought, because everybody says with the guy that gets let go, everybody in the Houday Nation page is like, we should sign him, right? I was one of those guys because I didn't see what the news was on Mr. Wilkins here, because I was like, oh shit, Christian Wilkins is on the market. I would kill to have him on my team. And then all these reports came out about, he just kissed a guy's forehead. What's wrong with that?
And from what I understand, there might be a little more that happened, but we're not.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not the podcast. We're not the podcast to talk about that,
honestly. But
DJ Turner has apparently been a disappointment. But DJ Ivy has been a strength as well. So that's at least some other things to mention. T. Brookie asks Mick, and I will drop this to you. What are you more concerned about on the Bengals? Guard or defensive tackle?
Guard. That's not even a question.
Yeah.
Because at defensive tackle, you've got, you say Chris Jenkins doesn't pan out again, that he's just a bust of a draft pick, right? You have BJ Hill on the team who hasn't been like a robust defensive tackle, but he hasn't been bad by any means. He's been a really solid run
serviceable.
He's been serviceable is a great way to put it. Hasn't been bad, hasn't been great. He's been solid, right? And you have at the other defensive tackle position, you have nose tackle. McKinley Jackson showed a lot of flashes late in 2024 in the 2024 season. You did bring in TJ Slayton, which
has been raved about in camp, including Joe Burrow today, raved about during his press conference.
Good. I'm glad.
And nothing against you, Mick, but I trust Joe Burrow's opinion more.
I do.
But listen, it is something. And then my biggest thing about why I'm more worried about guard, and I agree with you, is that BJ Hill's job is not to protect Joe Burrow, the most important person in Cincinnati Bengals history. Like, the guard is made to protect Joe Burrow, and literally that offensive line is more important than almost anybody on the entire team, because they're protecting your. Because if something happens to Burrow, your season's over.
We've seen what bad guard play has happened to Joe Burrow before.
Oh, I did see. Speaking of him, he signed somewhere.
Did he really?
He did. Because it's always
Michael Jordan, by the way.
Yes, it's always the ongoing joke that Schefter tweets. Guard Michael Jordan is signed with and I don't even remember what team it was. It didn't. But it's always the ongoing joke of, oh look, it's him. He's still a thing. He's still somehow with the Buccaneers. That's who it is.
With the Bucs, okay.
The Bucs. So congrats to Michael Jordan. And then we have to at least mention. Did you see Joe Burrow's T-shirt in the 99 Club video?
I think I did. I think I briefly saw it.
The Taco Cat shirt.
Yes, yeah, Taco Cat spelled backwards.
Is Taco Cat. And
that's like prime
Joe Burrow.
School. That's prime middle school level t-shirt right there.
But I just love that. I think I saw somebody make a comment saying that clearly his stylist probably did not dress him that day. I can't remember what his stylist's name is, but I don't think that would be on his thing. The biggest takeaway, though, I think from training camp so far, and I'm really interested in your opinion on this, is that the defense seems to be getting better of the offense so far. Is that good, bad, or is it really non-story?
Non-story. I think it's pretty much expected. I think that the defense outshines the offense usually the first week or two of preseason or training camp or whatever you want to call it. So no, I don't. I think it's probably a non-issue. I mean, I'm happy about it because of how bad the defense was last year. You really needed to see a change in defensive play and schemes. So it's nice that the defense is doing pretty good to start out here, but you got to keep the train rolling. So right now, I think it's a non-issue.
It at least makes us feel good because if the offense was cooking them, we'd probably be like, uh-oh, a little bit worried.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start hanging up 35 points a game again and losing half of them. So
that was the worst part about quarterback is reliving all of those games. It's like, because they win one of them, they're in the playoffs. It's just okay. I don't need to go back into this. Okay, the biggest story, at least of the last 24 hours, is Trey Hendrickson is back at practice now for the Bengals. Now, to recap, we've talked about this a lot. He was fined $250,000 for missing practice last week, which again, it's just wild for us to wrap our brains around. Like for Trey Hendrickson, $250,000 is not a ton of money. Like it's a lot of money, but it's not like. And it's just really hard for me to wrap my brain around being okay with losing $250,000. But then I think he realized, oh, wait, that's a lot of money. And that's going to start to add up really quick. But he said things are about the same. There was a report from Schefter, I think it was earlier this week, that said that they're about $6 to $10 million apart on guarantees. Now, Schefter said this with McAfee. And since McAfee's not a journalist, he didn't follow up with a question to Schefter, because what I wanted to know is, okay, $6 to $10 million on guarantees. Is that guarantees as a whole, meaning, or is that per year? Because those are two very different things as far as where we are.
I would assume it's as a whole.
I would assume two. I would assume two.
Yeah, my initial thought is if that were per year, that I think that Trey Hendrickson wouldn't be showing up.
You would think that would be the case.
Yeah, I don't think Trey would be showing up if it was $6 to $10 million per year, because that's really $30 million, really, if you're going per year on a 3-year contract, right? So it seems like it's really been good news, honestly. Because we all thought that Trey wasn't going to be potentially holding out into week 1, week 2 of the season, but now I think that. It's a much higher probability he's playing for this team in week 1. Seems like they're getting closer and closer to getting a deal worked out. That's what all the fans have wanted. That's what everybody's wanted. It's the fans, the team, Joe, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think it's a positive development in the right direction. Josh already mentioned he's starting to kind of coach up Myles Murphy a little bit. So hopefully we get to see some more positive play out of him as well. But yeah, it's been good news. The past week's been pretty good news. It's been a lot of good news.
He said today that him staying away would be selfish and would be punishing the younger players because he has things to teach them, is pretty much as to what he said. And you saw it wasn't just Myles Murphy. It also was Shemar Stewart, that he was out there coaching him and teaching him how to do things like that, which is really important that he is willing to do that. And, I was going to ask you on that too, is I think it does make you feel a little bit more positive because, you made the really good point. If they were not even close, Trey Hendrickson would not be there.
No.
They have to at least be somewhat close. Now, are they 75% of the way? Are they 95% of the way? We don't know. But, it would not, I think we are at the point now, and I think you'd probably agree with this, that it would not shock you if literally in 30 seconds we get a tweet from Adam Schefter that says the deal is done. And it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if we get that tweet the Thursday night when it's the Eagles and the Cowboys. Like, I don't think anything would surprise me as to when this gets done, but I'm leaning more towards we're close.
Yeah. I don't think you can come away with anything but positive after hearing the news of Trey and Shemar over the past week. And I've spent a lot of weeks here for the past couple months shitting on the front office. They get this thing worked out in a way that's not going to kill the team. The other portions of the team in future seasons, they're going to get kudos for it. They've had a lot of stuff that to be dealing with for the past couple months. You've had lease negotiations with Hamilton County, which that seems to be going across the finish line. I think they have a deadline within the next 2 days to finally sign.
On Friday, yes.
Yep. I don't know if we touched on that news, but it doesn't. I don't see any indication that the deal won't be signed. They've had a tentative agreement reached a few weeks ago, and we haven't heard anything about any of that deal falling through at all. So that's great. You've been dealing with the Shemar Stewart contract drama. All you had to do is throw out $500K, and everybody was all happy. I think the fans are pretty happy that everything worked out. Get Trey back in training camp here. So, as much as the national media and myself like to shit on the Bengals front office, kudos to for them for dealing with all this stuff over the past month or two, and getting everything across the finish line at this point.
We can tell you're on vacation right now because you're being quite positive over there right now. You're in a good mood. You haven't been working this week. You were just at the beach. Like, I can tell you're in a good mood. Yeah, without question. If you're going to start talking good about the Bengals front office. That's pretty much the news for the Bengals over this week. Who knows what will happen in the next week, but I at least wanted to, and if you're watching right now, when we started this podcast, we considered at least at one point saying, like, do we want to make it a Cincinnati sports podcast so we can talk Reds and Bengals? We said, no, we can just do the Bengals. Because if we felt like if it's, I think, a Cincinnati podcast, and we'd have to talk about FC Cincinnati, and we're both casual FCC fans, and then we'd have to talk about UC and Xavier, and we're not UC and Xavier fans. At least I'm not. So we felt like, hey, let's just do Bengals. But I at least want to, if you're not a Reds fan, thanks for watching today. But I at least think it's important for us to at least talk a few minutes about the trade deadline for baseball. And the newest Cincinnati Red, Ke'Bryan Hayes. How excited are you for Ke'Bryan Hayes coming to Cincinnati?
Not very. Yeah, he's a guy. He'll play a little bit.
Well, I mean, in his defense, he is the best defensive third baseman, and it's not even close metrically by the metrics. And defensive runs saved, he is 16 this year. Next highest is 8 on the list. So he has double the amount of defensive run saves. He is 4th out of all players in defensive run saves. So he is an elite defender. Now, that's bad. I mean,
Yeah, let's start talking about the OPS now a little bit.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. It's not great.
Really bad.
It's not great. But this is a better Santiago Espinal.
Defensively, yes. Offensively, no.
Statistically, over the last, X amount of years, he is better than I was looking into that earlier. If you're taking the last 3 years, now this year it's a little bit less, but and then he's also younger. Now he's under team control. To me, this is one of those deals that if tomorrow it comes out and they've traded for Stephen Kwan, from the Guardians, or you loop somebody else into this, I think fans are going to be like, okay, yeah, this is cool. But if he is your prized possession, then I think you're a little bit worried. Hooday, Lisa. Thanks for watching. But I don't know. At least they made some trade, right?
Yeah, they didn't really give up a lot. When they give up Taylor Rogers and 2, lower tier. 1 and
Sammy Stafura, who is their number 9 overall prospect.
Okay, so he is not a bottom tier. He is
not. He is not. Lisa, you just missed it. Mick was even being optimistic about things. That's how you know he was on vacation. I can't believe she missed your optimism. You had about 90 seconds of optimism, which is 90 more seconds than you've had in a while, and Lisa missed it. She would have loved to have heard your optimism.
Yeah, she's gonna have to go back and watch.
She will.
Go around the 40-minute mark, Lisa. I think that's where I was nice.
Yeah, that's how I knew he was on vacation, because he's more laid back and so on. He's got his dollhouses behind him. He's probably playing with the dolls before the show. So you're in the right mindset. But
also, I haven't really kept too much. I haven't really kept up on the news on baseball. Did the Guardians just fall off a cliff? Why is Stephen Kwan getting traded?
Well, they have some issues in their bullpen with some, Emmanuel Clase. And then the other guy also. Yeah. So do you. So look at that.
They're down to 500 now. I didn't think I realized.
They're struggling. They're struggling a little bit. I will not be there at practice on Saturday. I have a wedding to go to. And Mick, I don't think, will you be back in town?
I'll be driving back.
He'll be driving back.
Yeah,
driving back.
Be there as well.
I wish we could. I have an outdoor wedding, which is so much fun for early August.
It's supposed to
cool down. It is. It's only going to be like 84.
Yeah, that's not bad. Where's it at?
It's here locally.
Okay.
So it'll but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've had to talk to, because I mean, Mick, I know this is going to surprise you, and it'll surprise our listeners as well. But I'm not necessarily the most fashionable guy in the world. Like as far as being knowledgeable when it comes to fashion, I know that's just blows your mind, because clearly when people see me, they think that I'm just I also have a stylist like Joe Burrow, but I don't. So my stylist my stylist is ChatGPT. So I was like having a conversation of like, I got an outdoor wedding. Like, what do you wear to an outdoor wedding in the middle of? Because I'm like, I don't want to wear a suit. Like, do I have to wear a blazer? And it's like, no. I'm like, okay, good. I don't really want to have to wear a blazer to an outdoor wedding. But yeah, I gotta love AI, right? Gotta love AI. It helps us out in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So are you wearing a suit to a wedding?
No, I'm just gonna wear a tie, a dress shirt, and like a nice pair of pants. So,
no, okay. So that's what you got. Do you have a suit jacket?
I have plenty of suit jackets.
Ditch the tie, wear a jacket.
Frank says it'll be 74 in California. That would be nice. That would be very nice.
Good for you, Frank.
I'm very jealous of 74. I wish I could have it.
In Raleigh, North Carolina, the Raleigh, North Carolina area, it's been like 95 plus, real feel of like 110 degrees.
I think it was about 93 here today with real feel about 98.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But no, you need to no tie, wear jacket. That is wedding attire.
But it's going to be hot.
Yeah, I feel like a tie would make you feel hotter than a jacket would.
I don't know.
At least for me, it would make me feel more warm.
I don't know. I get hotter like in the torso. I don't know. I like this is how we started off talking about dollhouses, and now we're talking about wedding fashion.
Up in here, what's better wedding attire? Suit jacket, collared shirt, no tie, or no suit jacket, collared shirt with a tie?
This is a early summer wedding. Outside, it's going to be 84 degrees, I think. Luckily, no rain, it doesn't look like. About 6 o'clock. So it'll at least be, later in the day, which will be a good thing. But I just don't want to start sweating. Like, that's where it's going to be miserable. That's where it's going to be miserable. That's where I was lucky. Your wedding was outside, but it was in October, wasn't it?
Oh, it was great. It was like 60 degrees out.
Yeah.
Late October.
So what's funny is my older brother, he got married at the beginning of October, and his was also outside. It was a similar setup to yours kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, we were not in the wedding party, but we were ushers, as the brothers were. So we were helping people to their seats and so on. And we walked like our parents down the aisle and so on. And so he had us, though, in a button down and a tie and pants, but no jacket was what he didn't want us wearing a jacket. And it was a chilly. I remember my brother and I were, because it was like 55 probably, and it was a little overcast. So we were like sitting there like, oh, Alex, why couldn't we have worn? Because I think his groomsmen were wearing like sweaters. I was like, couldn't we have done a sweater too? Like that would have been nice. But
Yeah.
With our luck, then it would have
Think
been
about the
80.
suit jacket. If it gets too hot, you always just take it off.
I could
Exactly.
I could do that. But then again, I could just not wear one and then be in the same spot to begin with. I don't know. I got time to think about it. I'll have to talk with my stylist. I'll call up Burrow. What was Burrow's stylist's name? I'm sure I can afford him.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll just wear one of Joe Burrow's suits. I mean, we're built pretty similar. At least this is wear a nice tank top.
Hey, you are in like the middle of Kentucky. You should just wear overalls, honestly.
Yeah. And a straw hat.
Yeah.
And have a piece of straw out of my mouth.
Plaid shirt.
Yeah.
Overalls.
I have a couple plaid shirts. This might surprise you. I don't own any overalls, though. Don't own any overalls.
I hope you don't.
I've considered getting the Bengals bibs, but I don't even know that. I'm surprised you honestly don't own a pair of those, considering how cold you get during games.
Yeah, no, I don't think I would.
No. They match your ski goggles, though, right?
Yeah, they do.
This has been your fashion segment on Jungle Juice. What everyone has tuned in to hear is our fashion tips, because we need to start the segment, though, with your wife on her judging the fashion of the walk-ins of players. We need to do that this year.
We could do that this year. I think it should be down too.
Let's do it. I mean, because we're almost coming up on our 2-year anniversary of the podcast.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to celebrate.
When's our 100th episode?
That I don't know. That's probably coming up here soon, too.
Have we already had it?
No. Well, no, probably not. Because our 2-year is like August the 16th. And that.
We have episode numbers on Spotify?
Maybe. I don't know. I just keep things simple. I used to keep track of that, but when we moved to a different platform, it doesn't make it as easy. But I'll just let you count it up. How's that sound?
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Can you count that high?
I don't think I can.
Yeah. It's not like you work with numbers. That'll wrap us up here for this week. Do you have any parting thoughts?
No, if you're going to the practice on Saturday, have a great time. Stay cool. It should be a little bit cooler on Saturday for you all. So conveniently timed practice there. But yeah, just have a good time there. We're going to talk. What are we talking about next week?
The preseason game. Like
More
training camp recap,
game,
expectations, and so on.
When do we do our season preview? Is that that's bye week of the preseason?
Yeah, kind of like later on before we get ready for that. And I mean, listen, you got also too on Saturday, Reds at Bristol. Going to be kind of fun. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to watching some of that. We talked about Yoshi earlier. Even Mick was talking good about Yoshi.
He was.
I like it. I don't know why you're talking.
All right, we got to get off of here.
We got to go. Have a good week. Follow us social media, 5-star rating, and so on. Until next week, Mick. Who day?
Thanks for watching.